Hello and good afternoon. Welcome to another episode of Small Biz Highlights. My name is Tiffany Rummanen, and if you don't know by now, I am your host. As always, I like to start out this show by proclaiming that this is 2021. This is your year, no matter what your dreams are, your aspirations, your goals, whatever you have planned for this year, they will happen for you. I'm putting it out into the universe for anybody and everybody out there who is willing to admit it and accept it. For those of you that have not heard yet, I will be leaving this Wednesday for military training, and I will not be back until the end of March. So for right now, the episodes for all of March are pre-done. I have them scheduled. I have them set up so that they can, show up on the Facebook page at their given day and time. Thankfully, thank God for technology for that. So all I ask is that for all of you who have a moment, the episodes will still stream at 1 o'clock and at 6 o'clock. The new schedule doesn't start until April for my 1 year anniversary. Whoop, whoop. But, I know it's not going to be live. I know it's not going to be the same because I won't be able to interact with all of you through the comments and whatnot as much. But please, I'm begging you, show these people as much love as you would a live video. These businesses are amazing. They're doing great work for their community, for small businesses, so show them just as much love as if the video was live versus a pre-recorded one. If you leave comments as soon as I get back from my little trip, I will definitely try to catch up and comment and respond and whatnot. I'll definitely have a lot to catch up on when I get back, so bear with me. But without further ado, today I have the honor of introducing you to a gentleman named Peter. He has a really cool name business, Yub Nub Games. I'm really excited to introduce you to him because I'm honestly really excited to learn about this business. I didn't do too much research on it because it just sounded way too interesting to want to do research ahead of time. I want to learn at the same time as you guys. So here we go. Let's cross your fingers here. Let's see if we can hear him when I bring him back on. Hi, Peter.
Right.
How are you?
I'm great. How are you?
Oh, I can hear you. That's always great. Yes. Thank you so much for being here. I know you've got a busy schedule, life in general. So, thank you. Thank you.
Absolutely. Yeah. Thanks for having me.
I'm so excited to have you here. Like I said, I did as much research as I needed to kind of get an idea, but I'm really excited to learn everything there is about this business. But first, I always start with a very simple question. Who are you?
Awesome. Yeah. I'm Peter Seiler. During the day, I'm a motherboard engineer for HP. So
oh, wow.
doing real technical, nerdy stuff during the day. But my side business is a game design and publishing company, Yub Nub Games. So let's rewind a bit. I grew up in California, one of four brothers. I joined the military out of high school, so I served 5 years in the Marine Corps as a communications technician, deployed twice to Iraq, and then got out in 2008, went to college, got my bachelor's in electrical engineering, and I've been working for HP ever since. And then Yub Nub Games started just 3 years ago, just kind of on a whim. I had this idea for a game, and we'll talk a lot about it today, but it's called Top Tail, and it's the first volume in a series. So.
Oh my goodness. All right. So first of all, thank you for your service. I know we were talking beforehand about all my military craziness, but yes, thank you for your service. The Marines is no joke. We can pick on each other all we want, but I cannot deny that the Marines is the hardest. Oh my goodness. But I'm really excited to get to learn about your business. You said how long ago did it start?
It was about 3 years ago.
Okay. And what initially started you the whole idea to just get started into games in general?
Yeah, so I've always played board games. I grew up with the three other brothers, and my parents always wanted to play board games. So um, I've always had the hobby there. I never ever thought that I would take it from a hobby to a business.
Hmm.
That only started 3 years ago when I had this concept for a game, and
Yes.
the concept hit me well. My wife and I have 35 acres in Colorado, and we've got a bunch of horses. And so every day I clean horse stalls, and it's a great time for me to just think. And so one day I was thinking, and this idea for the card game hit me, and I just ran with it. I got so excited about it, about the potential, about what it could do for people that I just committed to myself, and now a business has grown out of it.
Oh my goodness. And Yub Nub Games is the name of that business. How the heck did you come up with Yub Nub Games? What is that?
Yeah. So when I first started, the game was actually called Top That, and it was all about topping each other's responses to topic cards. Um, Top That, I tried to pursue a trademark to try to lock in the name, and I was using Top That as my company name as well. The trademark didn't go through because there was another game called Top That Toast, and so too much conflict there. And so then I changed the name to Beat That, and Beat That happened to be another trademark that somebody filed in the UK.
Oh my
So
goodness.
so at that point, I thought, I'm gonna decouple the name of the game from the name of the company, and just on a whim, I went with YubNub. So YubNub is actually, I'm a nerd, so it's Ewok for freedom.
Yes. Oh my gosh.
So
I did not know that, but I understand where you're coming from now. Yes, I love that.
yeah, so it's a Star Wars reference. It's super nerdy,
Yes.
but I embrace it. And at the heart of it, it's all about freedom. I'm exercising my freedom to you know develop this game, develop this company, and bring it worldwide. And I don't know, I like it.
Shout out to all the Star Wars fans. I know I'm
Yeah,
trying to raise two Star Wars fans as it is. I'm getting there. I'm pretty successful actually. They know all the names. They can reference the movies a couple times. I'm getting there. I'm getting
yeah.
there.
And the Ewoks really don't get enough love. So
They don't. They don't. I love that. That's so crazy. Yes. Okay, so we've got your name down. We figured all that out, but I'm so excited about this game. What is the game called now since you've gone through like every other name to try and name it?
yeah. So okay, the game's name is called Top Tail. I'll get it on the screen
Top
for you.
Tail.
And
Okay.
I've got the byline, the Get to Know You game, because it started out as kind of just a casual party game where you're topping responses. Now the topics are all about telling stories, and so
Hmm.
I can give you a few examples here. But um, let's see, you might have a card. Gotta get it on the camera. A
Yeah, there
card
you
that
go.
says worst traveling experience, and
Oh gosh.
so all the players give a story regarding their worst traveling experience.
I love how
And
you said combat deployments don't count.
well, I mean,
Come
you got to
on
be fair,
now.
right?
Yeah, I guess. I guess.
Um, yeah. So every round, you draw a topic card, and then starting with the person that drew the card, they give a response to the card, and then you just go clockwise around the room. And after everybody's given their responses, at the end of the round, you vote for the top tail. And you can't vote for yourself, so you have to vote for somebody else that you're playing with. And essentially, it's a popular vote. The person with the most votes wins the top tail for the round, and they keep the card as kind of a point tracking. And the game is super
Hmm.
casual. I suggest not playing it with a time limit, but some people may prefer a time limit. Um, but
Okay.
it's all about getting to know other people, and I've had some really powerful experiences playing the game. and I've seen others have the same kind of powerful experience. Like, um, for the sake of the game, people actually open up more because
Oh,
everybody
okay.
else is opening up.
Yes.
You're in a safe place. You're on the same topic. If somebody doesn't have an experience, it's okay. You just pass. Um, but it's very interesting, and it's almost therapeutic. And I've heard people open up about topics that they say afterwards they've never talked about that to anybody. And
Mm.
I heard from a mother of a autistic kid that played the
Mhm.
game that her her grandson had opened up more during the game than he would in therapy, and he'd been going to therapy for years. So it it's really powerful what kind of outcomes the game has versus just playing a game. It's still
Yes.
it's still a fun experience. So being that there's simple game mechanics, you still feel like you're playing a game, but you're
Mhm.
really just getting to know other people, and you end up developing more respect, more understanding. The kids really like to share their own stories. They like getting creative with their stories, and at the same time, they like hearing adults tell stories or other people
Oh,
tell
I bet.
stories. So it's just been really powerful, and it's evolved over time, right? Like the original game, I mentioned, it was just about topping other people's responses. It didn't have much structure
Mhm.
beyond that. Now it's all about stories and experiences, and I love what it's evolved into. So
Wow, this is really cool. Like, there's card games out there that try to make things fun, sort of, um, and whatnot. But yours is fun, but it's also a way to ah, help people actually get to know each other. Like, there's family members who spend every day together, but they barely talk.
yeah,
As sad as that is. Now, with the COVID shutdowns and stuff, I'm sure that has changed a little bit where they had really no choice but to start talking to each other. But,
right.
with this, I really love the idea of this game. I think it's really cool because, you either play it with family that you may not spend a lot of time with, or just friends that you don't hang out with too much or may not know a whole lot about you, and here you are, you're learning stuff that you never, like, it could end up being TMI, like, really, I didn't want to know that. No.
Mm,
But no, I love this is really cool. How did
yeah.
you I know you said it started out with topping each other's responses, but how did it progress to being about getting to know each other?
Good question. So I noticed I've play tested the game with 200-300 people at this point, and I noticed that the cards where it is about sharing experiences or telling the story, those are the ones that had the biggest impact on how people felt, playing the game. Um, some of the other stuff, it was more just filler, it seemed. And so I got rid of the filler and I made it all about telling stories and getting to know people. And I think that was probably the tipping point where it made this game from something I might be able to make some money on to something I'm proud of, and I really,
Mm.
I feel the passion to kind of bring it to life now.
Wow. So I know you said this is only version one or whatnot, or evolution one, whatever you want to call it. But do you plan on trying to evolve with it to, like, I don't know, make it a different version, or like build upon the whole getting to know you? Like, I could see so many possibilities for this. This is like you're getting my mind going, and I'm not even part of the game.
No, that's how I was. So this is, and let's see if I can get the camera to focus on it, but this is the OG Volume 1.
I love
So
it. OG.
OG stands for original game. This is kind of the core game in the series, and it's family friendly. I didn't want to kind of isolate the game to one single market just yet. I wanted to kind of
Mhm.
explore which markets it really resonated with. But the OG series, this is Volume 1. I have at least 2 more volumes planned, and I have all the topic cards in development for both of those volumes. But then I want to have spin-offs. So the first spin-off I'm really going to dedicate a lot of time into after this is off the ground is Top Tail, Tall Tail. And with Tall Tail, you're expected to stretch the truth. So
Ah.
it's still going to be about storytelling. It's still going to be about sharing experiences, but you can elaborate a little bit, or you can exaggerate a little bit. And the idea there is to really to appeal to kids. Um, a-
Oh, okay.
if you think about it, a young 8-year-old, 7-year-old, whatnot, they haven't experienced a whole lot in life, and so
Mhm.
it's not
Mhm.
really, I guess, fair to have a bunch of questions about experiences that may not happen until you're a teenager or an adult. And so, if you can give them the ability to make up stories instead of expect them to tell the truth, then it opens up a lot of possibilities for kids to really enjoy the game.
That
So
would open a lot of chances for them to like what is it called? Their imagination run wild. Like that they say that that's what helps their creativity build. Then they get all into other creative ways to express themselves. It helps them get more comfortable with just talking in general too, I would think, don't you?
absolutely, yeah. I
Mm.
mean, and the idea would be that we kind of push them in a certain direction, like
Mhm.
um, name a trip where you took your pet dragon, something like
I
that,
love it.
where they have an element to work with to modify their story, and they might start talking about a field trip that they had, but now all of a sudden they brought along their pet dragon, and how fun would that be, right?
Wow.
So yeah, I'm really excited about that one, but there's a lot more in the works. This game has really been resonating with people as an icebreaker, or like
Mm.
a
Mhm.
corporate event type thing where
Oh
um,
yeah.
you have people coming to a conference, or you have a dispersed workforce. You bring them in, you have them go through the game and tell stories.
I
One of the
didn't even
main
think
things
of
I want to develop is booster packs. So you imagine like a 25 card booster pack that you get for
that. Okay.
$5 or $6, um, and it's industry specific. So you combine the booster pack with the core OG
Oh.
game, and now you have topics, say, for healthcare workers, or for first responders, or education. And so you have topics that will solicit stories that are related to those fields. uh, you know
That is genius.
yeah, so there's a lot
Mhm.
of possibilities with it, and the fact that it's centered around telling stories, you could tell stories about anything, and it could lead to a lot of really cool outcomes.
How many topics are included in the OG pack?
Good question. So 140 topic cards are
Holy
included
crap.
in the volume one. There's also 4 blank cards for people to
Mm.
come up with their own topics.
Oh,
um,
that's cool.
and I did that because I'm trying to encourage people to come up with a topic and share it on social media, and maybe I can reach out to them and say, hey, can I use that topic for a future game?
Oh,
So
that
I'm
would
I'm
be cool.
trying to crowdsource topics, and while we're talking about crowdsourcing, I actually crowdsourced Top Tail the OG Volume One on Kickstarter last November, which is the first official sales of the game.
That has to be so exciting. I mean, to think of that many topics, that would take me forever. It had to have taken you forever.
I so I give a lot of credit to my mom. So
Okay.
my mom is a 71-year-old blind woman with a lot of time on her hands, and she was very gracious with helping me come up with topics. Um,
Oh, go mom.
yeah, she's given me 400 topics so far,
Goodness.
and they start out just you know a one liner, but over
Mhm.
time I change some of the words. I try to broaden it, I try to make it You know, as I try to avoid like gender specific topics or anything that would exclude anybody from being able to give a response. Um, so you know, she delivered this treasure of topics to me, and I've kind of morphed them over time to topics at work. But yeah,
Oh my
I
goodness.
I wouldn't have been this far without her. So shout out to her.
Oh, oh my goodness. That is moms. They always come through when you need them, I'm telling you.
Yeah.
And to think that, you said your mom is blind?
Mhm.
Oh my goodness. And she's
Yeah,
coming up with all these. I mean, I would have, oh goodness.
yeah.
She's
So
my hero. My hero.
she's been legally blind her whole life. So she's
Aw.
completely blind in one eye, and then her other eye she was 2200 vision, so it's considered legally blind. But even with that, she raised four boys. She was a teacher for several years. She did special education teaching,
Oh
uh,
wow.
elementary school, and then she was a substitute teacher for K through 12. So she's got a lot of background in teaching kids, and she's got an English major. So um, yeah, she
Oh
was
my
perfect.
goodness. She's my hero. Tell her that next time you see her. She's
I
officially
will.
my hero. So COVID is an
Yeah.
ugly word that nobody wants to talk about really anymore, but we kind of have to still for a little bit here. Your business is about 3 years old. You said, you just recently launched this game officially and whatnot. What kind of difficulties did COVID shutdowns and whatnot have on your business, if any?
No, it certainly had an impact, but both good and bad. So um, I'd say where I had the best luck of actually getting play testing done and socializing the game was at conventions. So the tons of board game conventions all over the country. Me being close to Denver, there's usually three or four throughout the year. And of course, COVID shut all those down. So I wasn't able to go to conventions to really socialize the game and get more playtesting in. But I found other ways. So I've played the game over Zoom, over different streaming services, um, and so it actually suits itself fairly well to
Hmm.
play over a video conference because the game focus isn't on the components, right?
Okay.
With most board games, you have pieces to move on a board, or it's really heavy as far as the artwork or the theme. With this game, you just read a topic and start talking. So there's not much focus on anything beyond connecting with people, and you can do that okay, not as good as in
Yeah,
person, but you could do that okay if you can see people and hear people. So
yeah, absolutely.
I guess that's the one thing that COVID didn't really mess up too bad. I was still able to get the game played, and people still find the value, even though they're remote. And actually, a lot of people really enjoy this as a way to connect remotely, because you join a Zoom call for a meeting during the day, and you have some sort of topic to talk about. If you're just
Mhm.
kind of casually talking to somebody over Zoom, sometimes you need some topics. So playing top tail, you get those topics.
That yeah, that has to help out. I can see how that could help out so many people who host their own events,
Mhm.
or as like you said, people are so zoomed out right now. I feel like every Zoom is so much the same, no matter what kind of meeting you're hosting and whatnot. So I could totally see that being something to like change things up a little bit, get a little interesting.
Yeah.
Geez. So I want to play devil's advocate a little bit.
Sure.
So it's a board game, and with video games being so popular and it's usually the go-to for the upcoming generation. Um, do you worry about board games dying out ever? I worry about that, and I'm not even a board game company.
So luckily, there's an app for that.
I love it.
So,
Yes.
so I absolutely recognize that, not everybody wants to take board games around with them, even though I tried to make this as small and compact as possible. So if you have big pockets, it'll fit in a pocket, but otherwise it fits really well in a purse or whatnot. But everybody always has their smartphone, and
Yes.
so I actually contracted it out to a guy in the UK, but um, we developed a app that essentially just facilitates playing Top Tail. And with every game, you actually on the inside cover. There we go. With every game, there's an unlock code so that
Oh, that's so cool.
all the cards that you buy in the physical game get unlocked in the app. And so if you bought the analog version but you don't want to tote it around with you, you have all those cards in the app. Or if you don't want the analog version, you can buy all the content through the app. And that functionality is not there yet. It's hopefully trending to be available in April or so. But I totally recognize things are changing. Although board games in general are having a lot of growth, and COVID
Yes.
just accelerated that. People are stuck at home. They're trying to connect, trying to disconnect from their devices, and so I'm hitting both fronts. I'm going digital and trying to push the analog.
That is so cool. I didn't even know you had that. That's so cool that I asked that question.
Yeah, I'm glad you
Oh
brought
my
it up.
goodness. That is so genius. I can't even express how amazed I am at that, because that just makes so much sense. Because like you said, like it could be like we're going to the beach and we're sitting on the beach. We don't want to sit around with cards because the cards could get damaged, they could blow away, they could whatever. But you could just pull it up on your phone and play a game while you're, I don't know, tanning, waiting for the water to calm down a little bit, because it can get rough sometimes.
Yeah.
But that's genius. That is so genius. I'm in love. That's so cool. The fact that, like you said, you're going to add like the booster packs and stuff like that, then I'm assuming they'll have their own little code that people could then use the app to then download all those. That's just genius. I'm not gonna lie, I'm in love with this. Oh my goodness. So if you are just joining us, this is Peter, and he is the genius behind Yub Nub Games. Let me tell you here, guys, he only has one game so far, technically, but he's getting there. Give him a minute. He'll have more options for you. But he's taking it to a whole other level where it's not just a game of who wins or who loses. It's a game of interacting with people, of getting to know people, of connecting. And I'm telling you, if you're looking for a different type of way to entertain yourself, your family, your friends, what have you, a way to have an excuse to learn things about them that you never thought you would know, this is the game, folks. This is the game. It sounds like it, at least. And it sounds like it would be so much fun. So, if you have any questions, if you want to learn more about it, I have been putting up his website. It's included in the comments, so it's easily clickable for you. It's also in the description, just in case you're looking there. But I mean, I'm serious. This sounds like so much fun, such a different way to, reach out to people and just be humans again. I don't know how else to explain it, but just be humans again. I don't know how else to explain it other than that. That's the only thing that comes to mind.
No, I love the fact that you framed it like that, because it's not just, getting to know people. It's get to know your fellow human.
Yes.
And it doesn't matter who they are, where they came from. It doesn't matter. It's about connecting human to human. And so my Kickstarter commercial, it starts out with early man or cavemen around a campfire telling stories. And
Okay.
if you think about it, that was the start of civilization.
Mm,
People sharing stories, passing on knowledge, and
yes.
with passing on knowledge, then you can start growing this collective knowledge. And that's how, the first cities popped up, the first metropolises, the first communities. It's all rooted in telling stories, which is, I think, I'm really happy with how this game turned out and how it evolved into what it is.
Well, I, for one, am so excited for you. And I will definitely be looking into getting my family version of it when I get back home from my craziness.
Yeah,
But
I'll make sure to hook you up.
so excited. I really like the idea about the kids one too, because I know my kids, they already tell their tall tales as a normal process during their day, especially when they're playing games. We have been introducing them to board games. We played Trouble. Oh, we taught them how to play Trouble
Nice.
and Guess Who? Classic games. We're trying to go classic before we go anywhere else with the
Oh, for
board
sure.
games. But I really think they'd have a really great time with this one. Um, and I feel like this would be like a preparatory game to use for people who try to do one of those like newlywed games. Because
Mhm.
this would these if you can survive these topics and know what the answers to all these topics are, you should be golden for the newlywed game.
Yeah. Yeah, and the topics are open-ended enough. So if you're playing with a bunch of adults, it can get, pretty risque.
Ooh.
So, uh, yeah, I was thinking that one of my next volumes would be like a common term is not safe for work edition,
I
but
love
really
it.
just targeted towards adults. Eventually, I'll get there, but I really want to focus on the family-friendly stuff first.
Oh yeah,
Um,
absolutely. Gosh, I'm so excited for you. I think this is going to be so amazing. I'm so glad that you took the time to be on the show today to introduce us to you, your business, the game. I just can't wait to see what happens in the future with it when the app finally gets up and running, how that blows up for you. I can see this just being so huge for you. So congratulations.
yeah, thank you so much. And I saw John chime in. Shout out to my
Yes.
buddy John. I grew up with him, so.
Well, if you're just joining us, this is Peter. Once again, he has an amazing business called Yub Nub Games, an amazing game included to help you get to know your fellow human. I love that. That's definitely a great catchphrase for the game.
And
But if you'd like more information, once again, here's his contact information, his email if you want to ask for questions, or have his Facebook page and the website. Please reach out to him if you want to leave a comment below. Let us know you stopped by, watched live or on replay. We'd love to see who stopped by. If you have any suggestions for some topics he should use for the game, put them down below. I bet he would love to have some new suggestions.
absolutely.
I know a lot of my friends out there probably have tons of great suggestions. And for the record, you should definitely have a military version. Just putting that out there.
Yeah, for sure. A booster pack for the military.
Yes.
Maybe one for each branch.
Yes. I'm telling you, there's just too many open areas here for you to create so many different versions. I'm so excited for you. Thank you again for taking the time to be on the show. I really appreciate it. Thank you to all of you who stopped by to watch live. It is much appreciated. Show love and support, not for just for the show, but for Peter as well by liking, leaving a comment below, and sharing this video. Help spread the word about this gentleman's business and this awesome game that he's created. But with that, I will leave you with your final reminder, ladies and gentlemen, that you should always put your community first. You do that by shopping small and supporting local businesses like Yub Nub Games. All right, everybody. I hope you have a great day, and I will see you all at 6 p.m. with my next guest. Thank you again, Peter.
Oh, so thank you so much.